good bean.
All right, here with another early adapter, Tonic and Vice, who also happens to be my younger brother, Michael J.
It's true.
You, when did you get into cigars? Because I think it was...
Well, I mean, the first epic cigar event was when you, me, and Steven went to Chicago.
Oh.
And long story short, I was sitting in the back of the car on the way there and the way back. Smoked cigars on the way there and the way back. The weather was crappy, the beers were flowing, and I got pneumonia.
That was, if I remember correctly, a 2-cigar, or was it a 4-cigar day?
I think there was probably 4 cigars.
It's about 6 hours from here to Chicago, so yeah, that would probably be 2 on the way there and 2 on the way back. And I had no idea what we smoked that day. Do you remember?
No clue.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of them. I smoked, I think, 3 at a time because your guys' smoke was just coming right back.
You were in the back seat.
I was in the back seat, kind of sitting in the middle so I could hear the conversation. Windows were down, so the draft was just coming from the front to the back of the vehicle, and I was just getting pummeled with the jet stream of cigar smoke.
Yeah, it was like 40 degrees and rainy the whole way there, the whole way back. So pneumonia was the end result.
Pneumonia was the end result, but it didn't scar me for life apparently, because I've continued to smoke cigars. And I don't know, about 3 years ago, I really got into them. Started just finding a few cigars that I really enjoyed. I think the cigar that turned me on, I went to a cigar shop, Smokey's Cigar Shop in Knoxville, Tennessee. And the guy recommended a Liga Privada No. 9 in a Robusto, and it was just delicious. And so I started buying those, and then I started exploring more cigars, and it just started expanding. And the more I've gotten into golf, the more cigars kind of fit right into a game of golf. It helps you celebrate a good round, and it helps you cover up a bad round. So it's the best of both worlds.
We, when we went to New York, was that 1 or 2 years ago?
That was December of 19.
Okay, so you had a great idea, which was to get the top 5 Cigar Aficionado cigars. And I think we got through all.
I think we did the top 4.
Okay.
And we went from 4 to 1. So we smoked 4 and 3 on the way there.
Yeah.
And we smoked 2 and 1 on the way back.
And interestingly enough, the one that I liked the best was not the most expensive.
I thought it was number 3, which was the Wise Man Maduro Robusto.
The Wise Man, and then My Father was that on that list?
My Father Opulencia.
Yeah, so those were like...
That was a Toro.
It was for me, it was a toss-up between those two. But it was, you know...
Splitting hairs.
Splitting hairs for sure. Yeah. So this is a new brand for me. I was intrigued. That was a 90+ rated, which, you know, again, I'm not a ratings guy, but I've been getting a lot of advice from a gentleman who suggested La Galera, which I learned is actually just a Spanish word that means tobacco kitchen. So that's all La Galera is. And it's a Dominican tobacco, so inherently it's going to be a little bit milder than Nicaraguan tobacco, but I got a lot of spice right off the bat. What are you getting?
Well, this reminds me of the 2 cigars we just talked about, because they both started very spicy, but ultimately the spice went away and they started to get really rich and smooth.
Yeah.
The further back you got into the cigar. So I'm very curious to see if that's what we experience.
Yeah, we're still like definitely in the front third of this, but I'm getting, you know, lots of your traditional tobacco, cedar, but spiciness for sure on the front end of this.
Yeah, almost a little like black pepper.
Yes, I would definitely say some like pepper for sure. Paired up with Duck Rabbit. This is a new Ecuadorian blend from our guy Cal over at Duck Rabbit. Interesting tasty notes in this are a lot of like bright green fruits, so pear, green grape, green apple, and then he mentioned that there might also be a little bit of like clover honey on the finish. I actually haven't sipped it yet, but
it's great. It's a perfect pairing with this cigar.
I was gonna say I got it because I thought the Dominican would be milder, but so far it's definitely a bolder smoke to me.
Call it a pet peeve. I don't know if it's a sign of a quality cigar, but I love when a cigar burns with a nice even ash. And this guy here, I mean, you can just see the rings pulling down on every draw on the ash that's left behind.
This is, I guess, for those checking out the cigar, this is a box press, which is actually one of my favorite shapes. I just, for whatever reason, I'm drawn to it. It's a Maduro wrapper, so a darker wrapper. If you get the middle box or the upper box in this month's Tonic and Vice You'll get the Maduro, and then also a Connecticut, which is a lighter wrapper. So
Yep.
same Dominican tobacco, but different wrappers, which is kind of an interesting way to taste, the nuances, is how the wrapper affects the overall smoke. I know you're not a big wine drinker. What do you like about Tonic and Vice?
The fact that it gives you the opportunity to try something new, but doesn't require you to make decisions or trust the guy at the store. So it's always great, even if I'm not a big wine drinker. Bottom line is, I still enjoy a glass of wine, and then it's a fun story. Oh yeah, exactly. Then it's a fun story when you have friends over, you have some people over for dinner, telling them a little bit about the wine, and then most importantly, the education behind it.
Sure.
So I don't have to BS my way through it. Well, it's still BSing my way through it, which comes natural. However, it's a little bit of educated BS.
Yeah, as they say, you only have to know a little bit more about the whatever it is than the person that you're sharing the information with.
That is correct.
I would say this is the second Galera. You and I had the torpedo shape, and I'm going to put this on my regular rotation.
This is great.
Definitely
Yeah.
quality smoke, and never had a bad duck rabbit, so this is definitely, I got to enjoy this a little bit more to get some nuances, but nice stuff. Any plans for the weekend?
Round of golf tomorrow.
Imagine that.
A couple cigars. I might have to add one of these into the rotation, and then steaks back at Uncle Paul's house afterwards. So,
for those tuning in, we have everybody has an uncle who's like the uncle, and the uncle is Paul, who definitely is a cigar aficionado.
Yeah.
Definitely a steak aficionado, and a better golfer than I'll ever be. But what's your games like these two?
He's still giving me like 2 strokes aside on the
Okay.
handicap, but I took money off of him.
You've been doing that
last
lately.
week. Yeah, I beat him heads up a few times over the past 6 months as well, which is great. And then this summer, Aunt Kim stayed back in Phoenix, and I guess the saying is when the cat's away, the mice will play. So it feels like this summer is just going to be loaded with Uncle Paul and Mike golfing. Probably Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or Sunday. Steaks back on the patio afterwards.
You really should get an Excel spreadsheet and just kind of figure out, call it, from June to September, who comes out ahead cash-wise. And
That's a great idea.
because like you're not going to keep track of game to game, but I think there should be a running ledger as to who took the money.
Or else what I could do. Where's the cigar case?
Right here.
So this goes on the golf course with me every time we go play, and in here is my gambling pouch, a little cash. Right, we played a little Nassau. Most you can lose is $10.
I wondered what that cash was doing.
Yeah, this is the gambling money. So what I should do is just put get $100 or whatever.
Yeah.
In here.
Yeah.
And then just count what's in there at the end of the year. Am I ahead, behind, or did I break even with Uncle Paul?
We can trust that he will not. He will spend that before the end of the summer. But that's actually a great idea because if you're doing it per hole or whatever, that's an easy way to keep track. Cool. Well, cheers.
Cheers. Appreciate you sharing.
Yep.